I think y'all can see me okay. This is part 2. So I'm hoping I remember where I left off because I had to do that video earlier and I've been sitting here waiting for this person to come get this load. And then they couldn't even back this damn trailer over here in this Flying J, and there were 3 open spots in the back, and then I was trying to tell them to come put it where I'm sitting right now. I don't have any hours, and they put it across the street at Love's. So I don't have any hours to even run across the street. Remember what I told y'all? If you're out of hours, they don't want you driving on the main street. Now, I can bobtail over to a parking lot or go real slow, but I don't have any hours. The guy gonna tell me, oh, restart your Qualcomm and go across the street, and it won't count. No, bro, I'm not moving across the street. Anything could happen. Somebody hit me, and the next thing I know, why were you freaking driving? Okay, if you kill somebody, you're gonna get manslaughter because you shouldn't have been driving on the damn no hours. Most I will do is come over here to this little truck because I was sitting just, it's like a little roadway here, and then there's a parking lot, and then there's another entrance for the parking lot. That's it. I'm not going far. I'm not going across a major highway or major street. I'm not doing it. And you can't even give me advice because you can't bark. There's 3 open damn slots, and you can't bring this trailer and drop that trailer. And I'm cool. Just drop it over there, and it'll get got when I get it. I'm so over this day. And then he's like, and I sent messages through our dispatch telling them not to have him because he tried to turn in and drop the trailer where I was at. I said, no. There are trucks all back here. You can't turn around. I sent detailed messages. If I was a real ass, I would take pictures and show y'all. But, hold on. I'm going to read it to you. Let me read the 2 messages. The first one is, tell other driver there is no room to drop trailer here at the wash. He will have to leave at Love's or try to drop at Flying J. Too many trucks here already. Okay. Other message, just in case the geniuses did not, he tries to do something. I said, also don't drop or park on street. On street either. Cops up and down street making drivers move. So the cops have been knocking on these trucks and making them freaking move their trucks because they're not supposed to be parked on the street out in between the truck washing here. They communicated none of this to this driver. So what did he do? He drove all the way over here with the trailer and tried to pull in where I was at. And I had to block him. I said, bro, you can't. I said, there's no turnaround. You're going to have to back out. So then he's having to struggle to back this damn trailer out. And he's like, okay, because my trailer was already dropped. Also, let me tell you what I also sent them. Prior to this, I told them, this is at 6:45 their time in California. Lead trailer, he is on at the Love's. Make sure he removes the lock. So I told him to tell this guy to drop that trailer at Love's. They didn't do any of this. I told the dude, you want to look at the Qualcomm? Because I've sent the messages and all of them are checks sent. He said, no, ma'am, I believe you. Okay, this is this is the madness. They communicated absolutely nothing to that guy on this load. All they did was tell him that the trailer was over here for pickup. That's it. I don't know if he's a team driver or what. It looks like he picked his load up out of Pennsylvania and dropped it down here. Something from Conagra Foods. It is a heavy trailer, but it's going right over here. There's a Walmart. I think this is Walmart DC, but I mean literally not even 2 minutes. So they're sitting me on it for a whole day. Okay? I have to sit with this until 8 o'clock in the morning on, let's see here. I think it says for Walmart, it has to sit there till 8 o'clock in the morning. And Walmart is persnickety. You cannot go in any earlier than, I think, 30 minutes for their loads. I like the organization of Walmart, but you can't go in earlier. So I got to sit here a whole day with this freaking Walmart load. It's okay. What it has done is shown me what I need to do. And it got me back on track with my original plan. So, finishing out what happened, after I'm told, because I didn't have the hours to go pick up the potatoes. Well, I had the hours, but there was no way I was going to get there with getting through the hour wait on the damn I-15 outside 5 minutes or 5 miles from freaking, I think it was less than 5 miles, 5 or 15 miles from freaking Idaho Falls. I was close. we sat for about an hour while they were, I don't know if they were moving cones because I couldn't see no construction being done. But we saw the man moving the cones out the street when we finally got past. Both lanes heading towards Idaho Falls were stopped. Okay. I sent them a message telling them there's no way I'm going to make that 4 o'clock. Okay? This is where it gets really special. Send these people a message and they go, okay. I told them I'd get there probably about 6:25. I got into Idaho Falls about 5 something, like maybe 5:25, whatever, after sitting on that highway. Because I knew they were doing construction on it. Once I get into Idaho Falls, my driver manager tells me that this doggone load is supposed to be ready. And I sat in the dock 3 hours while they were washing potatoes to put on the back of that truck. Okay, because part of it was and part of it wasn't. And she's only communicating to me what's probably been communicated to her. So that sets me 3 hours behind on driving, and it eats up some of my 14-hour clock and my job time. Then I have to go take the load, and I now have to go get the load scaled. They effed up at the scale, put the trailer number instead of the tractor number. So then I had to wait for the manager to come half-ass fix that. So there's 43 minutes now, 40-some minutes, an hour, dealing with Flying J at right outside of Idaho Falls. So they give me a route to come in called US 26, guys. US 26, if you've never driven it, which I had never, is the back end of Yellowstone. And they were using that to drop down to I-80, okay, in Wyoming. Wyoming? Yeah. So I dropped down to I-80 in Wyoming through that. Bill had said, Shannon, there's another route. He said you could just go, I think he said go up a little bit and go through this other city and use a major interstate. The thing is, I don't like, when you're dealing with starter companies, they're very big on their fuel mileage and fuel economy, and they're very big on out of fuel running. So I didn't sit, I don't have, like I said, I don't have GPS, and I don't have a ruler to sit and measure like I used to. I do have a map back here in order to measure how many miles it would have been for me had I gone a little bit out of route, which probably wouldn't have been a big deal, probably 60 to 100 miles, but if it's beyond that, I wouldn't have messed with it. And this is the starter company thing. With a more mature company, what I call the adult companies, like a Conway, a CFI, XPO, the company Bill works for, Blackhawk, those companies will allow you to plan your own shit. You can, you know, as long as you either get there safely and try to get there as timely as possible. That's all they really care about. They're not going to get caught up in that, because that's where you lose a lot of drivers with experience. And that's what Bill said. He says that's why he could never work at a Swift now, or a Werner or a Knight or any of those companies, because he's an experienced driver and he can't have his hands tied. It would frustrate him more, even if they could pay him what his experience level is. It would frustrate him. So he could not go back and work at a starter company. If you guys ever want to see a driver who did, Brenda, Trucker 47, she came and she worked at one of the starters. I think it was either Swift or Werner. I can't remember. But I know she's working at a starter company. And she didn't last long. Because, and she says in a video, she said she had to go do something else because it's a starter company. And she realized it. You know, it's frustrating, because when you have experienced freedom, it's hard dealing with when you don't have it. So, and starter companies, they limit what their people can do. So, and they do it in order to kind of train them. But once you've been trained, you know, it's craziness. It's just craziness. So, to me, and this is where I'm pissed, because they gave the runaway. I'm not so mad they gave the runaway. I'm mad because they gave me something with no miles. I'm okay with the fact, because I would have been rolling hours after day. Like, I had 2 more days I could have run straight, and then after that I would have been waiting for hours to come back in order to get the load in. I would have been close, but I still would have been rolling hours just to try to get this load in. So taking the load, I'm okay with that. It was the fact you gave me a load with absolutely no miles, that's a local run, and set me down for a whole effing day, almost 2 days actually, because I by the time I probably could have got here a little bit earlier. I was so frustrated. There's a point where if you're mad, do not drive the truck. I had to get to fuel. I got to my fuel, and I just sat down and took my 30-minute break. And I took a little extra time because I was hot because of how they did it. It was just foul. And what they did was gave me a run. They took the load off me, gave me and set me with a load that had no miles on it here in Nebraska. That's foul. It just is. I haven't turned over equipment, haven't wrecked anything. It's just foul. It's foul. And the other foul part, which has happened to me twice, is I've dealt with the hardest part of dealing with the load. And then I deal with people who don't do the same thing. So I'm conscientious to do the following. If I get a trailer, I'll get it washed out, and I try to get the fuel for it. Those two things. The first repower I ever did with these guys was these 2 dudes coming to get. First of all, they knew I couldn't complete it. It was another Walmart load. Knew I could not get the damn Walmart load done because they got it to me late. I picked it up late because they gave it to me late. They're like, okay, well, how far are you? Where are you at? Okay, we're going to have another team come get it. Well, and it's almost as if I'd done. I was like, wait a minute. You guys gave me this load. Like, oh, no, we're not blaming you for it. And they weren't. They had these teams come bring me empty. Was not cleaned out. These jerk-offs didn't even secure the back doors. There's latches at the bottom and the top, and I did a video on this. They weren't even secured at the top. They didn't even pre-trip that damn trailer. They left me a dirty trailer, no fuel, and I had to go have it washed, and I had to redo the doors. Beyond scope. Now this couple, they were more mature. Nice guy, foreign. I don't know if he was Middle Eastern or from India or wherever, but these were foreign. And they were very nice. They weren't evil or mean. But I'm good. And I hate to be like that. I am so good. When he told me they didn't communicate anything I gave them, I'm like, wow. That also says a lot to me. And I know they're dealing with a lot of stuff, but if this was so high-ass important, you should be able to communicate to that driver what they need to know. Instead, you're telling me you don't want your equipment hit, you don't want it wrecked, but I'm telling you that the situation over here is where that driver can't turn around. That opens you up for possible, a preventable incident because you're not communicating effectively what another driver is telling you. I can't. I'm so over it right now. I've sent my driver manager a very big email on this because I'm irritated. Yeah, this was crazy as hell. They rescheduled the load was the first thing they did. I'm driving down the road and I get all these messages. Then the next thing I know, they're telling me they're taking the load. And they're giving me a load with no hours on it. Then I was like, I sent a message. I said, look, if you give me how much you guys paying me for this, because I'm sitting almost 2 days. Then a little smart butt CSR, he's going to come back with, well, you're actually, well, I haven't talked to the planner, but, if you're sitting if you're sitting a day, no, dude, I'm going to get there with 4 freaking hours left on my clock. I'm going to get there, and then I have to sit with that, plus through whatever the reset is, plus the whole next day, plus an additional part of the next morning. If you add that up, that almost equals 2 damn days. So don't tell me what I'm looking at. I'm looking at what this is, and had I got here earlier, it would equate to 2 damn days. That's why I took my time. I was like, Shannon, park the truck and calm the hell down. And this thing just got really almost sarcastic. I'm like, oh, no. And I told him, I said, I'm not being rude. I'm asking a simple question. Secondly, you haven't answered that question. He's going to just skip over my question like I'm not going to answer you. That told me all I needed to know. And I was like, I'm done. I'm totally done. I needed the refresher. Thank you. But I'm done. So I'm going to do what I need to do. I'm going to look at all my options. I'm done. I'm not training. I don't know if this was a way, if this, because like I said, sometimes they do stuff in order to kind of push you like, ooh, if I had, I could train. If I had, we could, no, no. I don't like to be forced into stuff. What I want is, and I'm going to do, my buddy Mike said something when he worked here with me. He said, I need trucking to do for me what I wanted to do. That's why I paid for trucking school. Absolutely. For me, I need trucking to do what I needed to do. I don't want to work in an office. The office and me, we're pretty much done. I mean, it'd have to be some spectacular damn job for me to end up back in the office. And it probably had to be something where I'm not working with other people. I just can't anymore. You got people that's willing to stab their mother in the neck for promotion. They're intimidated. If you have 2 cents more intelligence than they are, if you work a little harder than they are, if you get more, I'm over it. I'm too damn old. I'm over it. I don't have the energy for it anymore. It's beyond the scope of stupid.
You are out of hours of service driving
Wait,
time.
let's see when this comes back so I can go get this damn thing from across the street.
Messaging.
And I'm probably going to try to see if I can go real slow, because by the time this is all over with, I might almost have a damn reset. I'm just irritated. It's just beyond the scope of imagination. And I'm sorry, because like I hear, like I'm talking to some of the babies just even at some of the terminals, and I listen to them, and I can't say too much because kids don't know how to keep their damn mouth shut, and they'll go, well, da-da-da. No, I ain't said nothing. I'm going to handle my situation the way I'm going to handle it, and then I'm going to ease on out. Again, do I think it's a bad company for somebody starting off? No, it'll give you what you need. And you may find this is the perfect company for you. And you may stay here like Trainer Bill for 28 years. I don't know. For me, I want freedom. And I want not a freedom to not work. Hard work ain't never bothered me. I've been working since I was 17 years old, even younger than that. 16 years old, 15, 16 years old, I've been working. So hard work don't bother me. I've done everything from retail to, hell, trucking and sweeping out the damn trailer to corporate America. Work don't bother me. I like a job because I like money. But what does bother me is working in an environment where it's just dumb shit. I just can't. I really can't. And the load, I did the hardest part of this load. I drove US 26. Freaking pieces of the damn pavement were missing. It was beyond insanity. They're doing major construction along this route. There were parts where they had blocked off where there were just like a big ass hole in the highway. 45-mile-an-hour curves for trucks. That's how curvy this was. Not to mention grades. I'm 39,800 in the box, which means I'm climbing these mountains between 25 and 35 miles an hour if possible. And I'm the same way, the same grade, the same speed I go up, the same speed I go down. I don't fly down. My company has a policy that if you go over 72 miles an hour, that is a violation and terminatable going down a mountain. Well, I wouldn't go that damn fast in the first place, but I don't take grades. Like, I see some truckers, and like I met that one lady trucker talking about she likes going down mountains fast, and she just says we. I'm like, oh my God. But, then that answers the question when I see burnt brakes. And I've seen trucks turned over. I've seen the accidents as they were happening. I saw that truck on fire in the mountain. Just beyond belief, stupid stuff. My whole East Coast trip, I think, how many trucks did I see? 3 or 4 trucks turned over. One, the crane was already there trying to get it up out the damn ground. I'm done. I don't drive like that, but if that's what you're looking for, that's not me. That will not be me ever. It just... and like when I was telling Bill, and Bill said, no, nor should you drive that way. He said, it's a twofold issue. He said, 1, you weren't familiar with the roadway. He said, 2, that is a hell of a drive. Because it's a lot of use. And then on the U.S. highways, when you do it, if you go into towns, you have to drop your speed down between 25 and 30 miles an hour. I hate U.S. highways. Not my favorite. I love interstate. I hate U.S. highways. U.S. highways, country roads, Gorgeous drives. That US 26, beautiful drive. It was gorgeous drive. But it was hellish in a truck. It would probably be hellish in a car. And we got to one point, I think it was like 4 or 5 segments of this one mountain where they told us to slow down to 25 miles an hour because the pavement was missing. They were scraping up, putting new pavement, and the truck's like this. Oh, shit. I stopped to pee in this other trucker. He looked at me. He said, my company sent me on this damn route. He was hot. For me, I try to tone down because you can't, if you're angry, you cannot successfully drive a truck. I just think you can't drive anything because then it's like trying to go fast. If you're trying to hurry up, and a friend of mine, when he was in trucking, he said all his accidents happened when he was rushing. When he was rushing is when his accidents happen. I was like, yeah. And that told me, you know what? Slow down. I'm not trying to tell you to go like really slow, but you don't want to go slow down. Just slow the hell down. So this is 21 minutes, but that's the frustration. So I'm going to hometown with my dad, and I already put that in. I was so irritated that I said get that in. Let him know what was going on. Whatever I'm doing, I'm going to see what doors open. I have some doors that have already opened. I'm just kind of putting them on hold right now because whatever I do next is really truly positioning me for the lease purchase. That's going to be my next major move. That's positioning me for lease purchase. So whatever I do next, that's the goal. And I was first thinking I was going to stick here. Oh, that's what I was going to talk about. I might have to do a part 3 to this. Well, let me see if I can. So I don't believe anything just happens. When I went to go get the load that they just took, I had to go wash the trailer out for it because I did a drop hook. At that wash, I ran into I ran into a lady who worked for the company that my company had acquired to start their refrigerated division. She said that when she had worked for them, I'm calling Company X, when she worked for Company X, she was getting 3,500 miles. She was a lease purchase operator. Most of the people were for that company. And when my company took over, her miles dropped to 1,200 miles a week. I was like, yeah, because they want you to train. She's like, nope. So whoever was running the company at the time, I guess, contacted several of the drivers and said, look, I'm starting my own refrigerated company. You guys want to come over here and work? So she jumped ship, went over there and worked for them. That company I had seen for the first time. I had never heard of them in Phoenix when me and Trainer Bill were leaving the terminal with a load, and I saw them hauling the equipment for the company that we merged with. And I was like, well, what are they doing? Is this another company that this company's acquiring? Come to find out from this girl, she said they're sister companies, and what they do is they help the company we're merging with their refrigerated freight. She said they used to transload that freight onto one of their trailers, but I guess it became too much, and now they have to carry the other company's trailers. She said to me, that the guy who used to run the division prior to my company acquiring it, she said they had that other company has asked him to come over and to help or possibly get the division I'm in back on track. Now, how much truth is in that, I don't know. But we used to call that, when I was at Schwab, keeping your ear to the ground. There is always sometimes a little bit of truth in rumors. So what they may be doing is, if he is not coming over, they may be getting advice from him on running this division, or how to get it back to where it was when he had the division before, to where the drivers are getting those kind of miles. Again, the focus of the company I'm with is training. So it's not that those miles may not be there. It may be that they are holding them only for people who are going to train drivers. And that happens. So like when I was in the terminal, you would hear drivers who were solo drivers like me, or drivers who were, maybe they were trying to owner op, and they were just wanted to be owner op and just have the dog on the truck, because you can have a dog if you lease purchase, but they weren't getting the miles. Well, the reason you're not getting the miles is because you're not training. And the only other way you won't get miles if you are training is if you're doing some foul stuff when you're training. If you're training, you'll get tons of miles because they want you to train. They don't care if you're a good trainer. You can be shitty as hell. They don't care. They just want to be able to get that person onto their own truck. And I hate to put it like that, and they're not the only company. It's a training company issue, and it's not. There's companies who rate very well, very good in training, who have that same problem. I was listening to, I think it was Prime, and one of the guys, it was a guy, a girl, and one of the girls, she was saying, make sure you teach these people to back if you're training. She's talking to Prime trainers, because again, it's about mileage. They're getting that driver's miles, so it's a money thing in order to pay for their truck note. It's a lot of different stuff in this. And that's why when Bill asked me, he says, do you want to train? And I was like, I don't think I do. I really am at a stage and an age where I just want to drive my truck. I would like to have a dog on my truck. That's another reason I need to look at other options. I really want a dog, and this company doesn't allow it. And I just want you to give me my load and leave me the hell alone. I'm not a person that's going to be on the phone with the planner. I'm not. And usually that's, I'm going to say this. Usually if I'm talking to somebody other than my dispatch manager and about something that already has been sent to this truck, it's usually going to be some drama. Because if you can't put it on that Qualcomm, something's not right. And I think it's Junior who had said he had that load, and I don't know if I mentioned another video, where they told him to put a different temperature down than what was on the bill of lading. He did that, and he told him, put it on the Qualcomm. They sent it to the Qualcomm, thank God, because when he got there, the consignee declined the whole load. And so they basically said it was damaged. And luckily enough, when they contacted, like, hey, why'd you have this here? He said, read the Qualcomm. Read the message on this date. This is what took place. Boom, boom, boom. And you'll see the message from this dispatch manager who told me to do X, Y, Z. That's why I like everything in writing. I'm very big on the writing thing. I don't want to be on the phone with you having a conversation with you. I don't understand why we need a conversation. This is very simple. This is the load you have. This is where it's going. This is where you're picking up. This is where it's going. If there's issues, I communicate that in writing so you know what's going on. I don't like phone conversations, because phone conversations, quick thing and I'm almost done. The girl that I was first with, she was a container driver. She picked up a container, I forgot where it was, I think it was somewhere in California. She could not find the bill of lading paperwork for this container. She's looking all over. She goes, ask the guard, because it was something that was dropped. She could not find it. Well, I guess there's some kind of cubby hole under a section of the container. I'd never driven containers other than when I was with her. She couldn't find it, and so she called and she said, look, I can't find the paperwork for this trailer. They told her to go on and take that trailer. And this girl, because she's chasing money so hard, she did it. And I told her, I said, I'm going to let you know something. You're solo right now. I'm not driving this without bill of lading paperwork. Because if DOT, and we're in California of all places, pulls you over and you don't have, paperwork on what you're hauling, hell, they don't know if you're hauling people, drugs, they don't know what the hell you're hauling. And they're going to roto-root your ass with a ticket. And it's going to be a big one. So I'm not putting that on my CDL. If you want to run with it, you go ahead. And she did. Once we got to the customer found where the bill of lading was on this order. I'm like, nobody at the terminal could tell her. She didn't know. Hell, I didn't know. I've never done containers. That there was some little special cubby hole in the container section underneath it where they can put the bill of ladings. Yeah, I'm good. And they told her, and I told her, I said, you need to have them put that on the Qualcomm. She got nothing in writing. So it's now a straight denial. No, we never told you to do that. I don't know what you're talking about. Bill talks about they used to have dispatch busters where they would record the calls because people would tell them to do whatever just to get that load moved. I'm not going down that route. Most of it's going to be legit. Occasionally they're going to try to get something. I'm good. But today has been frustrating because, like I said, I did the hardest part of that load, taking it through that US 26 drama, sitting there in the dock, and then all of a sudden you give it away and give me another load with no miles. That is foul. With 20 hours left on my clock, I'm totally pissed. Anyway, guys, that's the end of this video. Peace. I'm trying to upload it, but it really depends. I guess it'll upload here. I'm here for a day and a half, so it'll upload on their little Wi-Fi because I have no cellular service. One thing I do like about Ghetto Mobile, I don't have to talk to nobody because half the time when I'm roaming, it don't give me cellular service. Peace.